Previously on The Good Doctor.
Sean, I have cancer. I have to undergo brain surgery, which is really scary.
To be clear, Jared, I don't want you here.
I fought for my job.
You compromised your integrity.
My former mentor is head of the surgical residency program at Denver Memorial Hospital.
A surgeon needs to communicate. Can Dr. Murphy do that? Can he do that under stress? Can he do that knowing that a human life literally hangs in the balance?
Sean? If Sean proves anything less than excellent, I will resign my position as president of this hospital.
I know why Caden has DIC. It was my mistake. I have to tell Dr. Andrews about the mistake I made.
Sean, you can't.
I'm not gonna ask him to lie to save my job. It's up to Sean.
Hello? Yes, of course. Dr. Murphy, the president will see you now.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sean Murphy. I'm a surgical resident at San Jose St. Bonaventure Hospital.
So, what did Andrews have to say to you?
Sean, you've exceeded my expectations in terms of expertise and technical execution, but your communication skills are sorely lacking. That has to change if you want to stay here at St. Bonaventure.
He told me I exceeded expectations.
Great. Sounds great, Sean.
Yes. I think you should have gone to your review.
Since it's my last day, not much opportunity to make use of the feedback.
Dr. Andrews could have some wisdom that you could use in Denver at your next job.
Even if I did care about his opinion, it was made pretty obvious by the fact that we're here. This is Glassman's project. Andrews thinks it's a money trap.
How'd your review go, Claire?
Went well. Andrew said I connected nicely and I cared about people.
Interesting. I'd have thought he'd want you to be more aggressive.
I think you need to be more assertive, Dr. Brown.
Okay. No? What'd he say about you? Figure out how to be a little less self-centered and realize you're part of a team?
You're sometimes overbearing, often egotistical. You need to be more of a team player.
Melanie Arnott.
The patient has pulmonary hypertension. The only treatment is medication, which reduces the lung blood pressure, but not enough. Her heart's failing due to the extra strain.
That is a factually correct diagnosis. What about a fix?
Isn't it just a transplant?
Nope. There's nothing inherently wrong with Melanie's heart. It's healthy, just needs a little bit of help. So we're gonna leave her current heart inside and slot in another one to support it.
A piggyback transplant?
Nice, huh?
Do you live in a tent?
Yeah.
I lived in a tent, too. It wasn't very good, so I moved to a bus. You should move to a bus. You will be much less likely to develop ulcerative tinea pedis.
Very early stages. Just keep it dry and clean and we'll give you some...
Would you rather we continue to discuss this inside? We are discussing things with the patient that are potentially sensitive.
We're done with the patient. Did Andrews happen to speak to you about communication?
Yes. I'm trying very hard.
It's definitely something you should work on. Things might be different, more difficult for you now. Glassman's not around.
Dr. Glassman is still around. He's alive and he is not going to die. He's meeting his oncologist today.
You didn't go with him?
No, that would be stupid. I am a resident. I don't know as much about brain cancer as a double board-certified neuro-oncologist.
True, but this has got to be challenging for him emotionally.
I can't help him emotionally. Excuse me, please. Excuse me, please.
Thank you for keeping me waiting.
We doctors are busy, important people.
Yeah, we doctors are. So, pre-op, clearance, surgery, radiation, and chemo. We're gonna have a lot of fun. I hope you don't mind if I start with pre-op.
Did you change the policy on pot use?
Are you using again? Should I worry?
I'm clean. I miss it, but I'm clean. They test me every week now.
Good.
I think you had me reinstated as your last official act before they booted you as president because I am the best oncologist around and you would like to get the best treatment.
Yeah. So, I'd like to ensure that the brain, in this instance, my brain, stay as dry as possible during surgery, maintain minimal swelling. I would still like to be able to swing my 9-iron when we're done here.
Of course, it's also possible that you had me reinstated because you'd like an oncologist who thinks they owe you and you want to push them around.
Look, Dr. Blaze, I am like any other patient, entitled to have a say in my own treatment, but unlike any other patient, I have spent my entire adult life digging into people's brains, so if you think I'm gonna sit around and watch, you're mistaken.
Well, if you think you can operate on yourself, I'd happily add you to the list of potential surgeons. Today, you're gonna be waiting, and waiting, and waiting. Test, test, test. You've had them all before. I want them again, my versions. You free all day?
Yeah, sure. I'm free.
Sir? We're going to need you to give those back. What's your name?
I'm Harry. These are my meds.
Those pills are for people with chlamydia, Harry.
Oh, you're all the same. See, I know better. That's why I had to hide out in the streets. I had to move next door to Mr. Googly Eyes. I trust him. He's my friend. I trust him.
Okay, okay. Disorganized thinking, paranoia, and delusions. I think you have schizophrenia, Harry. Do you have chlamydia as well?
Harry? Harry, are you okay?
That smells very bad.
I get that this is rare, exciting. It's the sort of surgery you guys must jump at doing. I want to make sure that we don't...
We're not. I have 3 months left. This will give me at least 10 more years.
Should give you 10 more years, yes. Elliot, I understand your concerns, but...
And Dr. Melendez is one of the best cardiac surgeons around. Dr. Andrews told us all about you when he convinced me to come here for surgery instead of...
You spoke to Dr. Andrews?
And they've both already spent half the morning raving to the press.
Well, that's very kind.
You spoke to the press? You spoke to the patient, my patient. As I explained to Elliot and Melanie, the press attention is a necessary element for funding this surgery.
But as you didn't explain to them, it's simultaneously a vanity project to create buzz for your new presidency.
As I didn't explain to them, this surgery can change the way our entire hospital is perceived. I'm hoping this buzz, as you put it, will help us establish a surgical center for excellence. It'll be a nice feather in the cap for whoever replaces me as chief of surgery.
Okay, swill your mouth out with alcohol now.
I never said no to that.
You will have to spit.
Oh, well.
Over here.
Are you having trouble with your neck, Harry?
It's stiff.
A stiff neck could be an early indicator of bacterial meningitis.
There are many possible explanations for a stiff neck, most of which are much more likely than bacterial meningitis.
If the abscess has invaded the meninges of his brain, it could be exacerbating his paranoia. We need to bring him back to the hospital for a lumbar puncture. Come on, Sean. It's nothing to lose by trying.
I have something to lose. It's not my last day at St. Bonaventure. Dr. Andrews won't be happy.
Look, it's my responsibility. If anything happens, I'll take the blame, okay?
Okay.
It's probably best that Jared isn't here on his last day. It's gotta be awkward. I mean, how do you say goodbye to someone who must have meant that much to you?
What Jared and I had is over. It was never all that much of a big deal anyway.
You worked with him for over a year. You were sleeping with him for most of that time. For me, anyway, you can't sleep with someone and not feel anything. And for you, you're way more decent and caring than I am.
Hey.
Melanie has an aortic aneurysm.
2 hours beating into that.
Yeah, not so good. We could reinforce the dilated aorta with an endovascular stent.
But we can't attach the donor heart's aorta to an aneurysm over a metal tube.
Why not resect the dilated tissue and reapproximate the artery ends?
Great. Except the wall's inherently weakened. How long do you think it'll take to dilate again? It was nice while it lasted. I'll let Andrews know.
I didn't want to say anything. I'm not entirely sure, but you suggested resecting the dilated tissue. What if we resect the entire abnormal segment, shorten the ascending aorta?
You were very right not to be entirely sure. You need to have enough aorta to plug in the donor heart. Actually, a version of that could maybe work. We'd reduce the risk of the aortic aneurysm if we used a Teflon graft.
I didn't know you lived in a tent.
Yes, we got to travel lots. We saw all of Natrona County, Wyoming.
What was your favorite part?
My brother. He took care of me. He knew I needed help. Now I'm fine on my own.
Mary had
Just keep still.
lamb, little lamb. Listen.
Don't you want to help Glassman the way your brother helped you?
I can help people with medicine.
And you can help Dr. Glassman just by being there with him, letting him know you're his friend.
He knows I'm his friend. I don't have to be there to tell him that. Okay, Harry, we're done, but you have to stay here for a while.
Got a minute? I get it. It's your last day. You hate me, want to prove me wrong. Prove that you're a better doctor than I gave you credit and leave here with a victory.
It was my medical opinion that he could have bacterial meningitis.
And if you're right, then I owe you an apology. But if you're wrong, then I will be on the phone to Denver, and I will make your life infinitely more complicated than you think you're making mine. You don't seem disappointed.
You think I like passing up on a once-in-a-lifetime surgery?
I think you don't mind telling me that a surgery I publicly supported can't be done.
I spent half a day with my team trying to figure out a way to make it work.
We think there's a way to do the surgery by using a Teflon graft.
A modified David procedure.
We cut out the entire aneurysm segment and replace it.
The dilation starts above the aortic root. That leaves enough room to plug in their donor heart.
That's a great idea, isn't it?
There's 2 hearts, not 1. There'd be about a 20% chance the graft would blow at the suture line. It's not worth it.
Whose idea was it?
It was a joint thing. We were all talking.
Come on, Claire. You know that's not true. It was Claire's idea.
It's very gracious of you, Dr. Resnick. Thought we talked about this.
Andrews was right. I did think Harry had meningitis, but maybe he only really believed it because I wanted to prove him wrong. If this test is negative, we've wasted the hospital's resources on my self-indulgent, pointless gesture.
Your results are ready.
We've wasted hospital resources on a self-indulgent, pointless gesture. Don't worry, Jared. You're young. There's still time for you to fulfill your potential somewhere else. I think one day you're going to be very happy.
I can unload the mobile clinic by myself.
I haven't been assigned anything else to do. I'll help you.
Do something else. I'm sure there's better ways you can be spending your time.
I'm halfway through a chapter of my book. It's very good. But you shouldn't be alone on your last day.
Seriously? You're worried about me being on my own? The guy going to a new job, not the guy facing death. Not the guy who mentored you.
He's not facing death.
No, he's facing death, Sean. That's all he's thinking about in every one of those waiting rooms. Are you scared? And you think by separating yourself, you'll make it easier?
It does.
For you, Sean, not for him.
I'm going to finish my chapter.
How's everything going?
Pretty good.
Pretty good? It's your first week running a major hospital. How pretty bad has it been?
You heard about the piggyback surgery falling through.
Read your draft press release. When does that go out?
As soon as Melendez informs the family. I was sure he'd seize the chance when Dr. Brown came up with a potential fix. He's arrogant, always just does stuff knowing he'll find a way.
You assumed he'd make the call you wanted.
It is his call.
What would Dr. Glassman have done? He held on to the presidency long enough. He must have been doing something right. Don't buy into his fuzzy warmth, Marcus. He was a manipulator. He manipulated the board into hiring Dr. Murphy. And he always found a way to do exactly what he wanted to do.
Sitting around waiting for tests is a waste of my time, much less yours.
I know. I told Jared that. I wanted to read my book, but he kept saying that I should just be here with you. But then I realized that I could be here with you and also read my book. I want you to stop doing that. Harry has kaleidoscopic disintegration. We thought he had schizophrenia, but he does not. He has a brain tumor.
Sean, is everything okay?
Oh, I have a solution. I need to find Jared.
Can I ask you something important really quickly?
I need to find Jared.
This is about Jared. How is he?
Is that your important question?
Oh, it's his last day. No, I'm sorry. You should go. Just say hello to him for me, okay?
Hello. Also, your day is not over. Harry doesn't have schizophrenia. He has a brain tumor.
Did you go and see Glassman?
That's where I got the idea. Harry's tumor won't kill him, but removing it might change him back to who he was before.
I was hoping Andrews wouldn't bother following through on a threat to call Denver. I do this, Sean, and I really don't leave him any choice.
We need to bring Harry in for an MRI to confirm the diagnosis. You need to help me find him because I can't do it alone.
Have you told the piggyback patient the surgery's off?
Not yet.
How come?
I haven't gotten around to it.
Is it because you're wondering if you made the right call?
I'm not going to do it. The Teflon graft isn't worth the risk.
That's a judgment call.
Yeah, my judgment.
Your judgment's biased.
And yours isn't?
Of course mine is. But as you've made quite clear, mine doesn't matter. You're biased because if this fails, you will publicly pay a huge price, and if it succeeds, I will reap a huge windfall, and I think both those scenarios are deeply unpleasant to you. But the only issue that matters is, are you surgeon enough to pull this off? I think you are. Am I wrong?
Get out of my office.
Hello, I'm Dr. Sean Murphy. Have you seen Harry? He lives in a tent.
He's about 6 foot tall with red hair.
He lives in it.
Seen a guy named Harry? No?
Harry? Hello. Have you seen Harry? He lives in a... We need to find Harry. You don't have... Okay, you don't understand. Okay. Okay, we need to find Harry. Harry! Harry! Ah!
Sean.
Okay. What the hell is wrong with you? We need to find... Hello, Harry! Okay. We need to find him. We need to...
Sean, it's okay.
It's not okay.
Sean?
No.
It's okay.
It's not okay. We need to find Harry. We need to find him.
Sean?
Okay, please be quiet.
We found an issue. An aneurysm near your heart.
So we can't do the surgery?
We have a solution. It's an addition to what we had originally planned. Teflon graft. It's finally time to prepare you for your surgery, Melanie.
Thank you.
Nurse should be by shortly.
The surgery was already complicated, and now... How confident are you this graft will work?
There are always risks. But I believe I can make it work.
Thank you.
That's it, Sean. Keep holding it. Good. Good. Keep your eyes closed.
Okay.
Feel the scalpel, Sean.
We need to find Harry.
Yeah, I know.
No.
Hey, Sean, it's okay.
It's not okay. We need to find
Sean?
Harry.
Sean, look over there, look. Remember Harry said he had a friend?
Harry and Mr. Googly Eyes. Yes, Harry. Harry! What do you want? This is my home. My home. Go away.
We're not coming in, Harry. Okay, we made a mistake.
No.
And we want to run an MRI scan on you because
always mistakes, always blaming others. You see, I knew you were a doctor. I knew it.
We think you have a brain tumor. We can help you.
Didn't I say
we can
go
just
away?
get you back.
Didn't I say go away? I said go away. Edward Austin Thomas. Harry is not who you really are. You are Edward Austin Thomas. You live at 3458 Brookland Avenue. I have a neurological condition. I will always have it. You have a neurological condition too, but yours can be cured. You just need some surgery, then you can be Edward Austin Thomas again.
You're not a doctor, are you?
Let's go.
Knife.
Another thing about being president, it's always your ass on the line. But ultimately, you're just a bystander.
Here's a wife and daughter. Now I checked out the address and where's that?
You had to mess with me. You didn't care that it might mean the end of your career. Didn't care what happened to Sean, dragged him along, unforgivable. Your day's over. And I'm making that call to Denver.
The reason we're here right now is because of Sean, not me. Sean believed there was something wrong with the patient. Sean communicated with him, connected with him, got him to come in. And whether he's right or not, I couldn't be prouder to back him because he sticks to his gut and he fights for what he thinks is right.
Excuse me, please. I have something to say too. Edward has a right parietal brain tumor.
Find Dr. Lim, you can have OR number 2.
There she goes. What's left?
Replace the damaged segment of aorta with a graft, then plug the donor heart into the aortic stump.
Exactly. 3-0 proline. Damn, give me a pledge it. Your wall's too thin. It's like sewing tissue paper. I can't anchor the graft here. We're going to replace the whole ascending aorta, not just a segment. We're building an entirely new aorta out of Teflon.
You'll be plugging the heart directly into the graft. That's even riskier.
That's true. Give me 3 Teflon grafts and some monofilament sutures.
Now we just have to wait to see who wakes up, Edward or Harry.
Flush it.
No leaks.
Put your back into it, Park. This needs to hold a systolic pressure of 180. Good. Okay, let's plug the donor heart in, see if this thing holds. They're connected. Let's take her off bypass.
You have a heartbeat. 2 heartbeats.
Who wants to do the closing?
I'll do it. The Teflon graft was my idea. I'd like to finish it.
What we've accomplished tonight is the type of radical surgery that we plan to do more of at this hospital. I love Dr. Glassman. You love Dr. Glassman. We all loved Dr. Glassman. But now is the time to build on his legacy. Now is the time to take St. Bonaventure to the forefront of the medical profession. I'd like to introduce you to Elliot Arnott, Melanie's son, and the phenomenal surgeon who masterminded this surgery, Dr. Neil Melendez.
He wouldn't take the medication. He just became more erratic, more disruptive, and eventually, for Hannah's sake, I had to ask him to leave. I didn't have a choice.
Known it was the wrong medication.
We were making him worse.
That's true.
He doesn't blame you.
It's kind of you to say, but
I know he has a distrust of doctors, not of you.
Where am I?
You're in a hospital. You're okay.
Eddie?
Mary. Oh, my lamb.
Daddy?
Sean? I meant what I said to Andrews. You might never fully appreciate what you accomplished out there. But I did.
I know.
Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Jared. Do you have my book?
Yeah.
I said goodbye to Jared. He has to go to Denver, and I have to stay here with you.
No, you don't, Sean. It's not up to Jared, it's not up to me, it's not up to anyone to tell you where to be. I've got a long journey ahead of me. And in the end, I've got to take it alone.
Yes, I understand. I'm going with you.
Jared. I missed having you around as a colleague. But I also miss what we had together. Yeah, I think we made a mistake. I made a mistake. I'd like you to stay.
It's hard saying goodbye. Doesn't mean it's a mistake.
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay. I will be okay. I think one day we're both going to be very happy.
I wanna wake up where your love is, 'cause your love is always waking mine. I wanna break down where your heart gets so torn it's almost breaking mine. I wanna tell you what my truth is, but it's buried down inside. It's buried down inside.
Aren't you gonna say hello?
Hello.